Happy Saturday, scientists. Let's review. Here are the answers to the B4 worksheet. As always, the detailed answers are linked in the description down below, but we're going to go through a few of the key parts here. The main thing with biology, as always, is to master your keywords. So we've started off with a list of those. Try and make sure for every topic in biology that you are really nailing those keywords. Make sure that you know what they are, that you have studied them so that you can use them in your answers when you're answering other questions. That's something that examiners will be looking for, is to see those keywords. There's a few common kind of things that come up here in terms of making sure you remember abiotic and biotic factors. Remember that anything living counts as biotic, so if it's alive, it's having other interactions with other things, that makes it a biotic factor. If it's abiotic, or if it's not alive, then that means it's still going to have some interactions or still potentially affect the distribution of organisms, but it is not alive. So that should be a really easy test in terms of determining, but it's something that we always see students getting a little bit backwards here. Question number 5, this predator-prey graph, the population graph, this is a really common long answer question on exams, so make sure that you take the time to understand how to properly answer this style of question, and we will be doing a video on this a little bit later on. So think about what you are clearly showing. If it's a 6-mark answer, you need to have some points, some substance on the bones of your answers here. And in terms of marking your own work, first decide based on your criterions. So here you've seen them described in the 4 mark bands there, or rather the 3 mark bands with actual marks and then the 0. Make sure that you spend some time deciding on which one of those mark bands you enter, and you do that based on the potential points that are in the answer. And this is exactly how examiners will be marking your answer. So it's a really good way of checking your work and seeing that you're working in a way that would be earning you points on the exam. The other thing to remember here would be the keyword explain. On these questions, if you are not giving reasons, so stating how stuff is happening or why stuff is happening, then you are not reaching that explain point. So if you look here, that first level, right, it's a describe level. So to get into that 2nd mark band, as soon as you say something that explains in detail, not even in detail what's going on, then you end up where you need to be. The nutrient cycles are cycles that come up again and again. Concentrate on the processes that are happening here. So how is something moving from one store to another store? If you concentrate on the processes that are going on, then you'll be able to understand what is actually happening here and why, rather than trying to memorize the flow of a diagram, because they could change the diagram or they could use a different diagram when it comes time to the exam. So memorize the process, not necessarily the diagram. Here, when we're looking at these questions, for example, question 11, right, these impact questions or these explain the impact questions, really make sure you're spending some time here to give that reason. So carbon's captured and stores in the trees, therefore if you burn the forest and release the carbon, if then you've removed that carbon into the environment, but you're also removing the amount of carbon capture when you remove those trees. So those are the 2 major ways that that's going to impact. The burning is going to produce more carbon, and then you are also going to have an impact in terms of the removal of trees. I hope that you found this revision video useful on this worksheet. If you have any questions, please ask those in the comments below, and you can find a detailed answer key linked in the description. Happy sciencing, everyone!